Hopefully you can't hear it right now, but right now there are a bunch of high school students outside my room at the bus stop threatening each other with knives and stuff and swearing up a storm. So, yeah, I'd say times are different from when I was in school, but no, I had to deal with this sort of idiocy. God, how long ago was it now? Jeez, I graduated about 15 years ago, so yeah, it's something that it has been going on that long, so. And I even went to a different school than the one these guys are at, even though same city, but same school district even. So yeah, just I don't know, some little bits of entertainment you get if you're up and around in the early afternoon outside my room, because that's where the bus stop is, and always fun listening to the kids threatening each other and swearing up a storm. Makes me feel really bad for any of the ones that try and sit far off to the side, and if it wasn't for seeming very creeperish, it'd be like, I'd want to go out there and bring some of them like a soda or snack, just the ones off to the side, and just say, it'll be fine. Once you graduate, those types of idiots tend to not make it through college. And those that do make it into college, they're on the football team and definitely on the other side of the campus from you. Actually, that's a bit of a lie. In Cal Poly, I knew a guy who was on the football team. I think it was on the football team. He was in my bowling class. God, he was the nicest person. Also, I don't really. The reason why I'm not really sure which team he was on is because he was a white guy, and the running joke among the not white guys at my school was that the only reason they're there is for the sports team. It's like, you don't want to say that around them, but when they're the ones making the joke, I'm probably getting so many complaints in the comments right now about just saying this discussion, but sorry about that. It's a thing. It was a thing that happened while I was at college, so. I don't know, we had some really good sports teams. Got our soccer team, actually got a lot of interesting games. I think we got to play against like the scrub leagues for some of the MLS teams, which is pretty cool. Yeah. Of course, sorry, going back to that race thing again, being out of school that's majority white, and then second highest majority Asian, so specifically the Eastern Asian. Didn't really get too many from, the majority of the continent, or even India. Although I did have a really cool teacher from Afghanistan. She was the coolest, and one of my physics professors was from Turkey. She was also one of the coolest. She was married to a Scot. So, yeah. Weird things. Love this world. We also had a really cool Irish professor in the physics department who got banned from coming to the physics events after his wife had to take him home when he got too drunk one time. I wasn't there that day, and thankfully I never went to those types of events anyway, and never did after hearing that story. Physics people are crazy. I screwed up my sleepy habits last night. Well, more than usual. So, this is my shirt for today. Very fitting. And yes, it does fit well too. So, can't wait to get coffee after class. Also going to go with my Dodgers cap today because this weekend is EQLA in Los Angeles. Well, Anaheim. So technically not LA. Dodgers are real LA. Angels are not. There's a guy out by the parking lot here campaigning for higher minimum wage. Glad I stopped to sign the petition. Hopefully it gets on the ballot whenever a ballot is. I don't. Yeah, glad to be a registered voter and aware of issues. So that's a good thing. Yeah. Always for higher minimum wage laws and all that. I don't know, the way he was talking about the proposed ballot measure is incremental, raising it like a bit per year. Better than not raising it at all, but still other than a big jump. I don't know. I like being informed on these sort of issues and just signing where I can if I support them. Had a person once ask me, sign to get this on the ballot. I'm like, I don't support it. Well, if you sign to get it on, then you can vote against it. I'm like, if I don't support it, why would I want it on the ballot? The guy he was campaigning with turned to him and said, that guy has a good point. Pretty bad when your own people turn against you when someone doesn't want to support you. Anyway, I still have to keep walking to class now. Okay, I just noticed this. You have a stair up, order here, pick up here, stair down, and then here's the handicapped access. That would be pretty inconvenient if you have more than one handicapped person in line. So not very handicap accessible. But this is American River College. I don't expect them to follow any semblance of logic ever. I mean, they don't punish smokers for smoking and non-smoking, for instance. So what do I expect them to do if more than one handicapped person wants to access a handicapped area? If I smell a bit of gasoline right now, I had to stop on my way home. But, good thing about a hybrid, you only have to fill up once a month, if that. Sometimes you can go longer depending on how much you drive. And holy cow, great gas prices right now. Thank you, China's economic collapse and this deal opening up oil reserves in Iran. So, yay. For 12 gallons, that fills up my car from almost empty to full. $34 actually, so pretty decent for this day and age. If you want a point of reference, when I was a kid, this movie called Die Hard came out. If you watch at the beginning of the movie, the cop played by the actor who would eventually become Carl Winslow stops at a AM/PM or some other gas station. Gas is less than $1 in downtown LA where that movie is set. So that's how far we've come in my lifetime. It's a thing. Inflation. Gotta love it. Well, I have no idea what I'd say about economics, so I'm just gonna leave it at that. But so glad I don't have to refill more than once a month. Sometimes once every 6 weeks is more than. Sometimes I go for 2 months. Gotta love a hybrid. It's
Sort of wish I had a Tesla, though, but that's only because I'd want to be fancy. I'll stick with a very good hybrid. Had my Sacramento was out to kill me on the road incident not too long ago, before I got gas. So coming up to intersection, three-way stop. My way is the one that's the two-way going through with an oncoming. I'm pulling up, signaling. I stopped. There's another car coming up towards me. I've been there, stopped. They're not even close to the stop sign. I've begun my turn. They just start going right through the sign. That's also immediately after a person who didn't understand to yield to oncoming traffic, that a yield. So, I hope I make it home alive. Let's just put it that way. Sorry. Actually, I'm trying a new place for coffee today. So, went to tried the McDonald's McDonald's coffee a week ago, and was like, that was actually pretty decent. So, if they're okay, they'll probably be my replacement for Starbucks, but because that's the only other place that's open late at night that actually has drive-thrus or is actually open, because we want to go somewhere else besides them. They're, let's say, Pete's. They're closed by the time I get out of class when I want and need coffee. Hell, I filmed out front of the Pete's on campus, and you saw it was closed, and that was at 6 in the evening. Yay, service. Gotta love it. So the McCafe latte was either the person hadn't stirred enough, or they're just naturally not that good. Got the mocha last time that I mentioned that earlier in the video, so probably stick with those since they're cheaper, and if I get good consistency. I know the latte, you could just really taste the bad burned coffee. Burning, not good for foods. Especially with coffee, because it holds it, and thankfully I didn't get any iced coffee. That really exemplifies the burned flavor, in my opinion. At least the iced coffees I've always had, and it's cheaper though, so maybe get those occasionally when I need them. But other than that, that was a bit of a disappointment. And then when I get home, I get another bit of disappointment, because so I have the overhead light that pull string to, well, it's a chain on this one to turn the light portion on and off while leaving the fan portion on. Because it gets really hot and stuffy in this house, especially on my side of the room, because it's the eastward side, so it's getting most of the heat during the day, most of the direct sunlight. So my area, my part of the house where I'm normally in, gets really, really hot and stuffy. I normally just leave the fan on and turn the light portion off, which you can argue isn't that good, but it's better than leaving the air conditioning on or having to do any sort of like emergency air conditioning or temperature changing during the day. So it's but yeah, I normally leave that on to just keep the house cool and circulate the air
really need the circulation because to get the car running, it's exhaust outside my room all the time, and I can't breathe during that. And I have a washroom that doesn't have a fan in it, and that keeps the exhaust in itself. So, and that's even with windows open, all of that to air it out. So, I sort of need the fans to keep my ability to, breathe and actually use these rooms. But when I got home, the chain, when I tried pulling on the light, didn't have any give on it. And this is the second time this has happened on this light fixture, so it's looking more like a manufacturer default to me, because first time it happened, I was able to get a couple pulls and get it going, but when I tried pulling it more to get consistency, that was when I started pulling it less than gently. So I will concede that at that point I was doing more harm than good. But since I had that replaced that one time a while ago, I've been pulling extra gingerly, very gently. I didn't want to break it again, and it's just like, well, if I have any part in it, it's pulling it pull it wider than I normally do, and I'm giving it a taps lighter than you need to use a tablet or something like that. If I without physically poking you, it's very light poke. So Trixie here is barely getting as hard as I pull the light switch. That little force is really what's needed, and I've been doing the minimal force that I need, and so it's like it can't be me if I'm doing minimal force, and if it is me, then we're getting the absolute worst light fixtures or replacements, because why would you want to buy a fixture that has a spring that only lasts a couple hundred pulls at most? So, and I just don't want to be blamed for doing it, because if it was done by use, then then it's not my fault that I'm not the one buying the low quality product and it's breaking. And otherwise it's just the low quality product in that case, and can't really blame it for breaking if it's not up to normal wear and tear. Hate that with stuff is like, you think there's product testing like that. You hear that Microsoft actually hires people to stand in front of a tower pressing the open and close button on a CD tray or DVD tray or even Blu-ray tray these days. And that's actual testing that they do, is see how many uses gets done. And if you're going to be a company that sells fans and lighting that have a pull string, you would think you would test it and ship it with the chains and springs that can last, hundreds of thousands of pulls or millions of pulls. Whichever is your best product to go forward, not the one that lasts, a couple hundred. And I'm a programmer, and you build your product
that way to be as big O efficient as possible. So you want as n increases, the big O increases slowly. This one, it's like a n factorial n to the n in products, and wears out really quickly instead of being a n log n sort of thing, and thus wearing out very slowly. I could probably say I'm spoiled because I'm a very big Nintendo person, and let's see, my oldest DS Lite didn't break until, or didn't do any major breaking, and is still perfectly usable. It's just retired because 3DS is where all of the games are. But it didn't need to be retired until well after the 3DS came out, and that's including breaking it or dropping it a few times onto hard pavement. I had used to have iPods that screw iTunes and it being crappy and invasive. Just go with a straight MP3 player these days. That's a better idea. But yeah, it was one with the hard drive, and you could drop it once, and compared to a Nintendo product, and I remember in a '90s issue of Nintendo Power, a guy, let's call him how would you say, soldier in Iraq during the first Gulf War, sends in a picture of his original Game Boy, the cream spinach and gray display case, which now when it's emulated is all grayscale stuff. But he sends in a picture of it, partially melted because he had it on him when he was fighting Saddam's forces. Then he also includes another picture with it playing Tetris. So that's the strength of Nintendo products. I'm also reminded of another case of what is it? 2 console generations ago, on X-Play was doing a which console is the strongest test by doing various tests and seeing how well you could still use the console if it boots up after various things. With Morgan Webb, the awesome gal that she is, doing various heavy impact tests on it. The original Xbox was out after the first test. The PlayStation 2 was out after the second test. The GameCube lost its top after the third test, still booted up fine. She had to take a sledgehammer to it to finally take the GameCube out. As someone who's juggled a Wii on accident on an occasion, versus and that perfectly fine afterwards, versus the time my friend we have my 360 vertically. My friend tapped it a little bit, falls over. 360 still booted up fine, but completely destroyed the disc inside of it. So yeah, testament, and of course it completely crashed the system instantly before destroying the disc, mind you. Complete accident, so
So yeah, if Nintendium marries Tonka Tough, then it's something invisible. No, my 3DS, it's just like, toss it wherever. Hits, falls, lands hard. It's fine. as long as the game doesn't pop out of the back, then it's still fine to play. Otherwise, you just put the game back in and start from the last save point. Yeah, and just when stuff gets these wear and tears on them, I mean, it's like using an incandescent bulb, you off and on so many times, and then it just wears out, and you can even shake one really hard if you're strong enough and willing to spend enough time doing that. Falls apart, then compare it to a CFL or LED light, and it's like you'd have to really destroy one of those, and in which case you really don't want to do that with the CFL because you're going to have to clean it up with sulfur. Although I read a rather ridiculous anti-CFL op-ed once. It's like, yeah, these suck. When they break, nobody warned me of how bad they are. And it's like, what were you doing to make it break? Oh, I smashed it. And it's like, why? I don't know, some of those anti-conservationists, that make up the majority of the U.S. Congress right now, they don't seem to be all there when it comes to doing stuff smartly or safely. I don't know. Product durability rant, yay. Probably also why I really like having my cars. Well, I really like having a Ford for my cars because, let's see, if I remember my repair logs from before I bought it and since I bought it, I've only needed to replace a couple things in 96,000 miles. I've owned it since about 80,000, so I haven't really been. So most of the wear and tear wasn't me, but it's an '06 too, so it's almost 10 years old, and it's a pretty damn durable thing. So yeah. Hopefully I'll have good trade-in value when I have to get a new one. Oh well, plus it's hybrid, so saves the gas, like I said earlier. Today's been a weird day, going from, what is it, started today with kids threatening each other with knives outside my window, to a Pete's Coffee on campus that has a one-way entry for handicapped but no exit for them. Thank you, ARC, for that logical bit. Getting gas and now complaining about product durability. Yeah, I mean, what did you think you were getting into when you signed up to this channel?